everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today we are starting another weekly reading vlog. I don't know why I did it like that, but it is though. So I have just filmed my December wrap up. Yes, it is like the 10th of January. No, I don't care. I need to edit last week's video as well. And I also need to clean up my room because, as I said, I just filmed and I have crap all over the place. And I kind of want to pack up some of my stuff for going back to college. Even though I'm not doing that until Sunday, but I don't know. I feel like I want to do something, and that is procrastinate reading because I'm still in the middle of The Name of All Things. That is the only thing I'm currently reading, but I kind of want to read something else. But like, also, if I read something else, I know I will not pick up The Name of All Things, and I want to read that because I am enjoying it. It's so hard to pick it up because it is so chunky. What's really speaking to me right now for some reason is The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. I don't know why, but I really want to read it. It's not on my TBR. It is a big book. But I know that the audiobook is on SCRIBD, so it would help me get through it faster. But I'm not gonna do it. No. Hi, so it is now Thursday. I don't really have too much to update you on. This is now going to be a 2-week reading vlog, and I'm not really going to focus much on what is happening this week. I'm mostly going to focus next week. It's mostly going to be a TBRPGathon vlog, but I'll just like keep you updated on what I'm reading this week. And what I am currently reading is The Name of All Things. So last week, it took me a whole week to get to page 118, and then Monday I didn't read anything. Tuesday, I read 200 pages, and then yesterday, I read another 200. So I am now page 532, and it's about a 720 something page book. So if I read another 200 today, I can finish it. So that is the goal. I'm really enjoying it, but it is kind of sitting at about a 4-star, I think. I do prefer the first book, and I do like Janelle because that's what this book is mostly following, but I spend most of my time and I'm like, wait, is that a reference to Kieran? So yeah, I do definitely prefer Kieran's story just a little bit, but I do really enjoy Janelle. So yeah, so it's like a really solid 4-star, but I mean, it could change because like the last 200 pages of like Rune of Kings, insane. So like it could definitely change, but for now it is sitting at a 4-star. Also, yesterday I watched The Eternals again. I watched it with my mum because it came out on Disney Plus, because I went to see it with my cousin in the cinema, and so she didn't, and she watches all the Marvel movies with me usually, and so she kind of just told me to keep an eye when it came onto Disney Plus, and so yeah, so the two of us sat down and watched it, and I really enjoy it. I mean, I can see why some people have issues with it. I'm not a movie reviewer. The reason I stick to books, because I can read books kind of critically. Movies, I literally just turn my brain off when watching a movie. There could be the biggest plot hole in the entire universe, and I would just be like, I'm sure it makes sense somehow. Like, I do not think when watching a movie. For me, it's pure enjoyment, and like, I enjoyed The Eternals, so. So it is now Sunday, and I don't have any book stuff to update you on. Sorry about that. But I'm obviously back in my granny's house, so that's fun. But tomorrow is the start of TBRPGathon, so I'm really excited for that. As you may have seen, because I did B-roll, number one, I bought a book, which was The Mask of Mirrors. It's over there. I bought the sequel like, I don't know, last week or 2 weeks ago, and I ordered that one in because I've heard such good things about it and I really want to read it, so I bought it. And also I spent the entire weekend marathoning the Spider-Man movies. So I started yesterday on Saturday, and I watched the original trilogy, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and Civil War, and then today I watched the 2 Tom Holland ones. I didn't watch No Way Home, and I also watched the 2 Venom movies that are out. Because I actually hadn't watched the second one. I had only seen the first one, so I've watched the second one now. And I'm so sad because it kind of failed, because I was going to finish it off with Into the Spider-Verse, but they've taken it off Netflix. I mean, I need to buy it anyway because I love that movie, but they took it off Netflix. And also, I like timing, I actually couldn't finish it because it's getting pretty late. And so yeah, so that's that. I'm up here, I rearranged all my stuff, and yeah, also this bit is for Cassidy, because Cassidy, a while ago we were talking about, you know, those videos that everyone does, my entire TBR. Well, I mean, I did do one, but I've like basically read all of the books that were on it, and the TBR has changed since then. So this is for you, Cassidy. These are all of my unread books, except for the last 5 Robin Hobb books and We Hunt the Flame by Hafsbaizo, I think, because I forgot to bring that with me. So basically, I just brought books up that I haven't read. The Dark Shade of Magic and Assassin's Apprentice, they're obviously like special editions that I already had up here, but the rest, and Rune of Kings, I left up here, and I just brought the Name of All Things just to have them. So I've also read those too. So we have The Bone Witch, The Heart Forger, Shadow Glass, all by Rinch Pecco, Kingsbane, Lightbringer. I've read the first one a good while ago. I need to get to the second one before I forget everything. Then I have The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Then we have Mask of Mirrors and Liar's Knot. I love these covers, and they're also super floppy. Then we have Traitor's Blade, Malice, The Burning God, Jade City, Jade War, and then The Memory of Souls, because I've already read those. But yeah, it makes me laugh how small Traitor's Blade seems next to everything else I have here. So yeah, so that is 20 books that I have on my physical TBR. So that's pretty good. Speaking of TBRs, let's talk about TBRPGathon. So obviously it is hosted by Ro from Wandering Through Worlds, and I started the Eye of the World, but I'm only like 50 pages in. And because my original plan was to try and get like halfway, if not more, through that, and then like just finish the rest and count it, even though I'm not sure it doesn't actually count, but I was gonna make it count. I am breaking and bending the rules to fit me. So yeah, and I'm gonna try, and don't hold me to this, but I'm gonna try and read 7 books in 7 days. So obviously I'm not gonna read 1 book a day, because someday I might like read a comic from SCRIBD or listen to a middle grade audiobook, and then, as I said, I'm currently in the Wheel of Time, which is 800 pages, so that would take me like all week. So what is still on my TBR that I haven't read? So I don't know what the hell is going on with the lights, but whatever. City of Dragons, but I can't read that yet until the live show, so that's not going to be read this week. Wheel of Time, Eye of the World, sorry. Eye of the World, The Bone Witch by Rinch Pecco, and Where the Drowned Girls Go by Sean McGuire. So, as you can probably guess, I'm absolutely going to be reading Where the Drowned Girls Go this week. I'm going to try and read The Bone Witch by Rinch Pecco. I read The Never Tilting World, also by this author, and it took me like 2 days. I had the audiobook though, but like really quick, really fast paced. So I'm hoping that'll be the same for this, and I can read it in like 2 days. I can't really plan ahead, but I'm going to try and squeeze these books in, is basically what I'm saying. So Where the Drowned Girls Go, The Bone Witch, and then I also have Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, which is a super yellow cover. And this is a contemporary, and it's like just about normal people in a world that has superheroes and stuff, but like the writing in here is huge, and it is also a YA contemporary, so again, another one that would not take me long. So The Bone Witch, The Rest of Us Live Here, and Where the Drowned Girls Go, those are definite plans. Hello, so TBRPGathon has begun. The first choice was solo or duet, and I went for solo, and for that you have to read a book that is from one point of view. I'm currently reading the first book in the Murder Bot series, and I think I'm just over halfway through it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So it has one point of view, which is Murder Bots. Because of the fact I am one of Ro's Patreons, I get early access to the videos, so I already know what my prompt for tomorrow is. Which, actually, did I mention that I'm trying to do a book for every prompt? So there was wait or there was run after it. Which, this is gonna make no sense unless you've watched the other videos. But those were the 2 options, and I chose wait for it, so we had to choose something that, like, the word patience makes you think. I'm gonna read Where the Drowned Girls Go by Sean McGuire. So I was hoping, because see, I was gonna use it for the first prompt, but then it's usually written in 3rd person, And most of the time it does follow one character, which Rose said was fine, as long as like one character it's focused on. But I'm not sure about this one, because when they're like in their own worlds, almost always it is just focusing on them. But I know that this one, Cora is in the school, so I was like, it could follow more characters. So I'm not sure about that. But I have been waiting for it patiently. And like, it's not even that I'm like that excited for it, but I did put it on my anticipated releases. I put it on my January TBR, and I kind of wanted to read that first in the year, because I wanted to like start the year off reading a book, if that makes sense. And so, but I put it off. I patiently waited for TBRPGathon to happen so I could read this book. Back to Murderbot. I'm having such a good time with it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm only listening on 2x speed because I didn't go on the website. I went on the app, but like now I've kind of gotten into it, and I feel like it makes sense for him to be like a little slower. And so now I'm like, okay, the 2x speed makes sense. This is what I wanted from Becky Chambers' book that I read, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. This is what I wanted. Like, lovable characters, super fun relationship dynamics. That is what I wanted. This is what I wanted from that. And that's why I think I want to give Becky Chambers another shot, but I want to try one of her novellas. I'm really enjoying Murderbot. Murderbot as a character is so funny. Because he's like, I could totally kill them all, but instead I'm gonna just watch this episode of this TV show that I'm really into right now. So I'm having a really good time. I don't think it's gonna be a 5-star just because it's a novella and there's not a lot of plot in it, but it is definitely going to be a 4-star. So yeah, but who knows? It could surprise me and give me a 5-star, but I have a feeling it's not gonna quite get there, so we'll see. Okay, so it is Tuesday. Already don't know what days it is. That's a great sign. But it is 6 o'clock-ish, and Ro has just released the 3rd prompt for her Patreon. So yay for me, because I don't want to stay up until 12 o'clock. And also, I've finished the 2 prompts so far, so I need a new prompt for the reading sprints tonight. So I don't know what I'm going to read yet. Recap. So I went solo, and I read a book with one point of view, which was Murderbot. I told you all about that. I gave it 4 stars. Really good. Then, again, I got early access to today's ones. I got early access to today's ones, but I actually read the book for it yesterday. So for that, I chose Wait, and it was Patient, and I read Where the Drowned Girls Go during the sprint last night. So I'm like a whole day ahead. It's great. And so then for this time, it was either to go left or to go right, and I chose right because I felt like it was a trick to go left, because everyone always says in a maze to go left. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do that, right? And so it was like from the right side of the world, and so it was anything that isn't American. I'm going to go with the Bone Witch, which I should be able to do it. As I said, I did read the entirety of Where the Drowned Girls Go by Sean Maguire yesterday, and I give it 4 out of 5 stars. As I said before, I do have a mixed relationship with that series. It is mostly 3 and 4 stars, but I have had a 2 before. So yeah, so it was 3.5, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3. As I said, I have now given the 7th one, I think it is, a 4 stars. So I did overall enjoy it. I don't have too much to say on it. I feel like it's hard to kind of talk about something that is so short. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. So in this one, we follow Cora, who we have met in a previous book, and she is really struggling with things that have happened in previous books. And she decides that she wants to move to the other school. So throughout the books, we have heard that there is another school for wayward children, basically. But this one is like not as kind as Eleanor's. So she goes there, and because she kind of just wants to forget about everything that has happened. And so it's just exploring what happens in this school. And obviously, you know, there's a bit of an adventure and they have to save the day and all of that. I do like being with characters that we've seen before. I liked the kind of mystery of what the hell is happening in this school, and just I enjoyed the friendships and kind of them all coming together to try and sort out what is happening here. It was sweet, and definitely not like a high 4-star. It's definitely like a lower 4-star, because I never fully love these stories except for Jack and Jill. I love Jack and Jill. But I think that has to do with the fact that I really love their world. It is so dark and fascinating, and I just really like their characters. So I think that's why those ones are like the highest 4 stars I've given out. But hey, this was a 4 stars, and I'm quite pleased with that, because as I said, the only other 4 stars I've gotten have been Jack and Jill. So it's nice to get another 4-star. So yeah. Hello. Today has been a day, and I'm not really going to talk about it much, but basically I have to do it's an essay basically, but I found out I have to do like an oral presentation of it, and that's freaking me out a lot. Now my like day has been completely ruined. But let's distract ourselves with the TBRPGathon, because so I'm still in the middle of my book for write. I'm 150-ish pages in. No, I'm about 114 pages in, and I'm liking it so far. Again, early access, but this one, it was lower or higher, and we had to roll a d20. Yes, and I don't have one, so I used an app, and it was 5, and so for that, it means I got a short book. So a book less than 300 pages. Thank God. Don't know what I want to do. I think I might read the second Murderbot Diaries book. Maybe. Now, Thursday update. So, I have done my prompt for today. I still have not finished the Bone Witch. I actually haven't read anything today. So, whoops. So, I've done day 1, 2, and 4, but I haven't done day 3 yet. But shh. And I just looked at the early access for day 5, and I chose, wait, which one did I choose? Short, long. No, short, thick. Yeah. Short, long. Short, thick club I chose, and so that was a paperback. And so I think for this one I'm gonna go with The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. So that should not take me long, because it's like 300 something pages and the writing is huge, so that's good. And yeah, I'm not sure how much reading I'm gonna get done this evening. I'm kind of tired. And then tomorrow I'm also not sure how much reading I'm gonna get done, but Saturday is the 24-hour readathon, and I don't think I have anything I need to do, so I will probably try and get a load done, and like if I need to catch up on stuff, which I do because I still have day 3 to do, so like if I haven't read any more of the Bone Witch, or if I haven't finished The Rest of Us Live Here or whatever, I'll do that on Saturday, as well as like the Saturday prompt. As I said, I did finish my prompt for yesterday. I read Artificial Condition by Martha Wells, so that is the second novella in the Murderbot Diary series, and I gave it a 4 stars, but it is a lower 4 star than the first book. So the first book, I really liked the characters and the humor and the interactions between them, and so while the character of Murderbot and his humor and just how awkward and all of that is still there, and I did really like him, it's not the same characters that he is with, and so I wasn't as like, I didn't love like their dynamic as much, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm very intrigued because I think I saw that it's the first 4 have an overarching plot. But it could be more than that, it could be less than that, but it's kind of like what happened in his past, I guess. And I am really intrigued as to where that's going, so maybe overall I'm enjoying it, but I do think that one was slightly weaker than the first one. So yeah, so that is all for now. I'm gonna go get in my pajamas. I have a small bit of work to do, and then I'm gonna hopefully have a small bit of time to read. Fingers crossed. Updating time. So I didn't talk to you at all yesterday, which was Friday. So I last spoke to you on Thursday, and I told you that I was starting The Rest of Us Just Live Here. Yes, and I did not. I didn't read anything on Thursday, whoops. But then yesterday I started it on the bus. Yesterday afternoon I spent the whole day with my sister, which was fun, but also meant no reading got done yesterday afternoon. But then yesterday evening sprints were on, and so I finished The Rest of Us Just Live Here. So that was prompts 1, 2, 4, and 5 done. And then Row released the prompt again early for Patreons, and that was, I chose Control, which was stiff, and so I chose the third Murderbot book, because like he's kind of a stiff character, and I have also now finished that, so I now have to go back to the Bone Witch because I still haven't finished that, and so that's prompt 3, and so that is, today is like 24-hour readathon, so that is the plan. But telling you about how I felt about those books. So The Rest of Us Just Live Here, such conflicted feelings. This is one of the books that I have felt the most conflicted on ever, because I'm giving it a 3 stars overall, but honestly some of it was absolutely 5 stars and then some of it was 2 stars. It's so difficult to explain it, and so it is something that I would like wholeheartedly recommend to lots of people, especially like if you are a contemporary reader, if you like books that have messy and frustrating main characters who make a lot of mistakes and all of that. If you like that, I would totally recommend. And like the mental health discussions, everything was so well done. Personal preference, there was a couple of things in there that I just didn't really care about. One of my favorite things about it is, so basically the whole premise of the book is that it is a contemporary book, but it is like any world where, like, you know, typical fantasy or sci-fi or action kind of stuff is happening, but it's in the background. So it is, the main characters are not the heroes of the story. And so I love that premise. And so at the start of the chapter, it always goes, you know, the first chapter, and there's a bit in italics, and it's like this person called Satchel finds a magical amulet, and so like it's literally only a small paragraph, and those were so funny because they were literally any like YA fantasy book ever, especially like from like the early, like late 2000s, early 2010s, all of them. And then like also like very much like action movie tropes and all of this. So like it was so funny because it was just all those like tropes and all of that, completely mocking them all. And then it would just like skip and it would just be them doing very normal things, you know, them just going to prom, planning their graduation. And so it was so funny to see the contrast. And like every so often in their chapter you'd see like kind of the fallout. They'd be like, there's a glowing blue light in the distance, and they'd be like, them again. And so that was one of my favorite parts about it, just like that contrast. Really enjoyed a lot of the things about it, but just overall I didn't love it. I think I didn't like where some of the characters went, like, and how their stories ended. And I think at the end it just like he took it like a little too far, because with the mocking, because there was one thing that he was like mocking, and it just, I felt like it kind of ruined it a little bit. But I think for a lot of people they could enjoy it. So yeah, overall 3 stars said. So today is the 24-hour readathon, so I started off strong by reading the third Murderbot Diaries book, which this has basically become like half of a Murderbot Diaries vlog, like whoops. One is Rogue Protocol, and I liked this better than the second one. It's still 4 stars. They've all been 4 stars so far, but I still think the first one is my favorite, but this one is my second favorite. And all I will say about this book is basically, how did I get so attached to a robot in like 150 pages? I think that the plot was a little stronger in this one, and so I think that's why I enjoyed it more. And I'm really intrigued about like kind of Murderbot's whole backstory. I'm really hoping that we get more of that in the next one. So yeah, overall really enjoying that whole series. So 4 out of 5 stars. So as I said, I've now done 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. The 7th prompt won't be out until this evening. I need to read The Bone Witch for the 3rd prompt, which I think was for East, wasn't it? Yeah. Hi, so I'm here to wrap this up. So I'm not sure that I tell you that I finished The Bone Witch, but I did. I think I did. Did I? I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. Anyway, so I finished The Bone Witch yesterday, and then today is Sunday, so the last print went up obviously yesterday, and for that I chose Steel, which is Enemies, and for that I chose the 4th book in the Murderbot Diaries, and I think that brings us up to date. Let's just recap it all. So the first book I read was Murderbot number 1. I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Where the Drowned Girls Go. I gave that a 4. Then my 3rd prompt, which I only finished yesterday, was The Bone Witch. I gave that a 4 stars. Then my 4th prompt, I read, I think that was but I read Murderbot too far, and I gave that a 4 stars. Then my 5th prompt was The Rest of Us Just Live Here, and I give that a 3 stars. Then my 6th prompt, another Murderbot book, which I gave a 4 stars. And then my 7th prompt was also another Murderbot book, which I gave 4 stars. So this has basically been a small bit of a Murderbot reading vlog, and I don't regret it. They were very fun. I had a good time. But The Bone Witch, I gave a 4 stars, but it was a low 4 star. I wasn't as like captivated as I was when I was reading her other series, but I did still overall enjoy it. Like, I had a good time with it, but it was nothing like mind-blowing. Everything was solid, but there was nothing about it that like truly stood out to me. I think the best part of the book was probably like the world building and the magic, and that is definitely something that I really enjoyed in their other series. So it's obviously a point that they're like really strong at, but I definitely like much preferred like the characters and the plot of the other one, and like the sibling relationship and all of that. Though there was actually another like really cute sibling relationship in here. So overall it was a good time. I gave it a low 4 stars. And then, as I said, I read the 4th Murderbot Diary book, which brings our like current arc of it to an end. And so I'm glad that I like read all of them, because I feel like it really is kind of like one story, but like obviously each of them have their own story. But I was glad to like get to the end of like this plot point, and I still give it a 4 stars, but I think that is my favorite one so far. And I enjoyed, we got to see the crew from the first book, and they were my favorite side characters. And yeah, that was kind of like the main thing that like probably made me like it the most. And it also probably was the one that had like the most plot in it, and I had a really good time with it. So yeah, so that brings us to the end of TBRPGathon. I had a really good time with this, and Rowan did such an amazing job. It was really fun. I loved like watching the reading friends and the prompts and everything. It was a really good time, and I did read a lot, and I picked up some books that I never would have. Murderbot was like a series that I was like, oh, I'll get to that eventually, and I just never got around to it. So I'm really glad that I actually forced myself to read them, because I had such a good time. I also like read 2 books off my physical TBR and all of that. So all in all, a really successful week. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.